What's up, peoples? Everybody who's subscribed, my audio visionaries. In the wee hours of the morning right now. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm watching my cat frolic around. One of my cats, my kitten Butter, up under my weight bench over there. Guess he's trying to do work too. I'm up proteining up right now. Got my protein shake mixed in my blender, which I so dearly named Bonita. This protein shake is made up of whey isolate, glutamine, 2 scoops of glutamine, peanut butter, 2 raw eggs, and carnation milk. I find times like this the most opportune times to let my mind expand to places that I can't afford to venture off into while I'm out and about handling priorities of my day-to-day ins and outs. And I often dive into parts of life that affect you whether you like it or not, whether you try to avoid it or not. All you could do is just hope to understand it more so it doesn't consume you or give me any allowance to be distracted or detour my direction in life. And I find myself always venturing on to the topic of relationships in life. And I mean all relationships. I mean friendships, romantic relationships, family relationships, and how we have to be more conscious in how much of our focus we invest in them in any given time or period in life when you're either vulnerable to the downside of it or you're blind to the upside of it. It seems to always be something that you're missing. You can't always monopolize the board. You can't cover everything. You can't dot every I, cross every T. Because sometimes when you dotting T's, you forget some of the I's. But to keep it alphabetical, the main thing is to stay on your P's and Q's. At least then, there's less remorse and regret involved when reflecting on certain things that can unhinge you, leave you feeling off balance, off an even keel. When you're moving forward in life, there's always going to be a craving for companionship or appreciation of the focus and the consistency that you display in life. It's not always appreciated by those that we hope and expect to appreciate in the ways that we do. Can't drink this, you're going to turn into a bionic kitty. You're going to mutate. But it doesn't stop. Even if we can understand this deeper and deeper as time goes by, through cause and effect, betrayal, and bonds grown, bonds made, associations, and people we gravitate to or who gravitate to us. But no matter how much you understand it, it doesn't ever stop them from approaching. It doesn't ever stop. Sometimes when people get beyond the gates of your protection of knowledge, because what we know, it gives us more incentive to be open and be protected in some instances, but you can never know everything about everyone, and we're not done learning about ourselves in that same token. So judgments come, and sometimes judgments prove to be completely opposite of what time and space influences people to be to us. Sometimes it affects us in the most negative ways, but it can never give you an excuse to become the exact thing that hurts you the most to anyone else. Or else there's no reason to voice your feelings about anything that goes on if you are a main ingredient to the energy that you hate to anyone else. I know for me, the only thing that keeps me buoyant among the waves of influences that life grants you and prescribes to you. And I say grants and prescribes because some things feels like awards, gifts from life, opportunities, and the prescriptions are like the lessons in places where we aren't whole or not fully conscious of, basically sick. So these lessons prove to be medicine to become more strengthen your immune system. And you can have, like, the immune system fights off things, but it doesn't keep you from getting sick altogether. It just means once you get sick, it can fight to heal you from within. And that's exactly how I mean it. I try to always view things in metaphors and analogies to give me a better visual of it, because it calms my heart. Prayer calms my heart, meditation calms my mind, and understanding of self, it gives me enough hope to know that I can overcome self. Sometimes when I feel like there's no tomorrow, sometimes it feels like there's no five minutes from now, because the weights in which we bear on the inside can never be fully understood by those we confide in, those we lean on, those we look to, those we expect to read our minds. It can never be fully embraced, and that always leaves an inner aching, but hope and faith in the outcomes. I'm talking about the warm feeling, warm, strong, empowered feeling you get beyond the storms is what fulfills a person and makes them more self-reliant. Because I always have hope for man and woman, and I have faith in the energy we call God. Faith in that. It's an ongoing conversation, an ongoing guidance that guides me out of myself when sometimes I go too deep in the pits of me. And not all of it is good. Not all of it is good. Because if we were all judged by our thoughts, I heard this from a man before, if I was judged by my thoughts, man, I'd have been condemned a long time ago. I'd be condemned like every other hour when given a triggering behavior or a triggering onslaught of things I can't control. Because then my floodgates open. I'm talking about retaliatory thoughts. I'm talking about sometimes just wanting to be blank to the world, invisible to the world. Live, but just be non-responsive to anything and have nothing notice me. But that's one of the inner workings of the anti-me that lives within me. I believe we all have that if we acknowledge it. if you can acknowledge it, because the most fearful place to look is in the mirror. I mean, deeply in the mirror, in that vulnerable place where we've, in parts where we're not exactly as we think we are. We something like it. We're growing toward it, but not fully that yet. The potential and the possibilities these days outweigh the improbabilities. An ex of mine one time, when I was trying to help a friend that was making consistent bad decisions, and I was just wondering, like, if she would ever get it. And my girlfriend at the time, she said, it's possible, but it's just highly improbable right now. And I understood that, and could visualize it almost perfectly. It almost put ease on my mind, because everything that's supposed to happen always does. Whether you choose to learn from it and change your possibilities for the better is up to you. Depends on what angle you view life from. It's not always the cup half empty or the cup half full people. Sometimes it's the people that had the audacity to try to discern from a spiritual realm that lives on both sides, all around it, and a little bit in between. It allows you not to feel so powerless under the cycles of life, the cycles, the revolution and evolution, all simultaneously just converging on you, in times when you feel fully aware, and based on how you feel about yourself and life as a whole at that point, can paint you a picture that keeps you fighting, or it makes you buckle a little bit more under the stress and the weight, the burdensome weight of life, the things that we can't possibly control, but we try to influence and try to be as much of a example as possible, because I'm one of those people that believe I can change the world. And the truth of the matter is that I am changing the world every day. I have changed the world when I chose to live a devout path of seeking a righteous line that I can follow, when my emotions give me the negative incentive and initiatives to veer off course by choice, because it's no longer a mistake in thought or an urge. So I've gone from being subject to fail by way of being overtly emotional to being predisposed to a victorious lane or plateau in life based on the faith I had to break through anything that I'm faced with. I won't tell myself anything less than that. I won't tell myself. I won't have a conversation with anybody that will aid anything opposite of that. Because not all presences are in addition to who I am, what I'm becoming, and what I desire out of life. Anything that adds to my peace, a contribution to my life or life as a whole. Sometimes it's that negative contribution. It's like slipping somebody a Mickey or something. They think they're getting something nice to drink. It's fruity, it tastes good, but whoa, what's that feeling? Everything that comes easy is never all it's cracked up to be. It's never a consistent place of feeling gifted or feeling fortunate. It's always short-lived, and the other side of that coin, the tails of it, always seems to paint a self-portrait of disappointment, Because when you know better, and a choice is made to settle for something easy because, hey, maybe this is for me, And then when you feel it, like, damn, I knew I shouldn't have, like, because now I know I'm living a life of paying dues. I don't seek fun out. Fun is prescribed to those who live a devout life of prioritized momentum. The fun that you can have without regret. The ease you can feel without trying to cut corners or find loopholes. The peace of mind you can feel without stepping on anyone else. And compromising your integrity behind the curtain so you can shine in front of others like everything is all peachy, sunny, and blowing bubbles with you. Talking about the honesty of life, to not feel embarrassed by your humanity, but to be empowered by its vulnerability when you're honest about the things that people are afraid to reveal of themselves. I have a Facebook friend who's also, I think she's a friend on Instagram too, and she's also a subscriber. So I've coined this name for all of my subscribers. All of my subscribers. I'm talking about kindred minds and kindred spirits, like minds and kindred spirits, audio visionaries. And she said we're superheroes, and in fact we are, because we give ourselves and on this path we give ourselves the opportunities that have been placed before us as checkpoints as we move into the right directions through storms to get to those opportunities and still choose to be better people, progressive people, constructive people, enlightened people, inspirational people, motivational people, encouraging energies, people with a vibration that touches all, whether they deny it, whether they combat it, whether they refuse it altogether, whether they know nothing, whether they're purely ignorant to it, but you show them it's real. Because one day there's going to be something that rekindles that feeling that you've given them that first time. And it gives them just that much more of an opportunity to make a just decision for the future them. Because I always say the future me will thank me for the direction and the decisions that I make today. It's up to me to meet that person in the mirror. Life is a collage, but the paint is dry and slow. And I'm not done painting. So I'm painting with focus now. My paintbrush is more sure and assured than it has ever been. And I can only hope to gain more assurance and confidence and spiritual vigor along this path. Because we're only given one gift in life by the divine energy that we call God, in which I believe. Only one thing, and that's time and opportunity. And all the other significance and the harmonious moments we get with this energy that actually tells us, good job. Yeah. The personalized understanding and comprehension that you gain in life that is above or below no one else's, but allows you to love life as a whole, holistically, mind, body, and spirit. Is that right there in which I do it for, because without that I'm just talking to another person that needs to find a more deepening understanding of self, a growing understanding. And I have to make enough changes in life in order to be able to grow fully. And have every one of my words and my actions actually mean something. Not just to me, but for someone else that has the lack thereof meaning in their life. It's not a constant, and it has to be refreshed. It has to be reinvigorated. It has to be recalculated at times. It has to be readjusted at times. But it has to be a commitment to stay on the course. And she's cute as shit. I fucking love my kitten, man. They add peace to my life. Their love is perfect. They have a buoyancy, a balance with life that we couldn't gain as human beings. Our human nature doesn't allow us to have that balance with life. Animals are perfect. Our free will allows us to be a hop, skip, and a jump away from our demise at any given time, just by one decision. And if that one doesn't, there's always the follow-ups behind that. That it's kind of like a snowball effect, or a domino effect, or a trickle-down effect, or a cascade effect. Ripple effect, butterfly effect, whatever effect it could be. But the affect of acknowledging it on a consistent basis, even when, the confusion of life brews, sometimes when it gets contagious, when you're around so much oppressive energy that it invokes the same content within you, because it lives in me too, but it's not a voice I listen to within me anymore. And I'm a person that won't allow my demons to speak with yours, to have a dialogue with yours, because mine will take over the conversation. You ever notice in the Walking Dead movies, after they bite a person once, they don't try to bite them again, because it's only a matter of time before they turn. And the ones that actually make it to the end where they find a cure for them have to be close to the people who aren't infected. We're living in infectious times, man, with contagious energies and frequencies and channels and degrees of humanity and understanding. But if you don't have your own, or if you don't have an affinity for the one that caters to the future and that you dream of, that you know is possible to you, you don't know which way is up, you're lost. So you could either be a straggler, lost, waiting for somebody to find you, or waiting for the elements to blow you in the right direction, or you could be a seeker. And if something calls out to your heart, take that leap of faith and walk that plank and find out that you didn't drop. Once you took that last step off that edge, it was something beneath you that you weren't totally aware of, but just a hope that there is something beyond this ledge. The hope and the audacity to take that extra step shows you that there's more to life beyond what you just see right in front of you. Like I always say, man, do you? Because I'm effortlessly, undeniably, unmistakably, undoubtedly be me. A better me is all I ever want to be. And if I can inspire another to do that, then that's what I'm here for.